Hey guys, good morning, greetings of the day. Thanks so much for joining this session. Today we have two different topics. These are from the .NET Conf. Let me introduce our new speaker, Ritesh Venkat. Venkat, would you like to introduce yourself? What should I call Ritesh or Venkat?
Yeah, anything is fine.
Okay,
You can
cool.
call me Ritesh because most of the people call me Ritesh. So yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, so coming to my part, I'm going to talk about the building AI applications in .NET from scratch. So that's the topic I picked for today, and a bit about myself. So I was actually having 7+ years of experience in full stack and also into the AI engineer recently. So like I've been into that complete coding and all that. So really more interested into this AI, all that. Yeah.
Okay, thanks so much, Ritesh. I think let me share my screen and let me share my screen. And hey, guys, this is the meetup group, and here we have two sessions planned. And what's new in C Sharp 13, Aspire, or Open API? So let's see those things. And the next is Ritesh will speak on this. And that's the meetup group, .NET Learners House, Hyderabad. And we do have another meetup group which we are organizing, that is Global AI Hyderabad. Please subscribe to these two. And our channel's YouTube is .NET Learners House. That's our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to that. And let's move forward. So this is my GitHub, and let me give you this is a speaker series, and date wise, whatever the events I speak, all will have a folder until unless I go lazy and I don't do the documentation. Rest I'll see that I'm doing the documentation. And I'm still a learner, lifelong learner, so apologize if I do any mistake. And the demos are kept pretty simple. Coming back to the feedback, uh, please be considerate when you're giving the feedback, because the meetup has had 4.8, and some people unrealistically going and giving one, whereas others giving five to the same event. And I'm not stopping people who are giving one. That's your uh, personal opinion, so I don't stop it, but please tell me what went wrong so that we will have a chance to see and review and work on that. And this is online events, and one guy gave rating 2, saying that I did not meet anyone. How come that is the responsibility of us if he's unable to meet anyone in the online? It's not an in-person event. So that's pretty unrealistic, cruel rating. We are fine taking that. The other guy told he was expecting good demos. The word good is relative. So what is good for Ritesh might be bad or even worse for me. What is good for Swami, it might be okay for Ritesh or it might be worst for Ritesh. Good is a relative word. And one more thing is, this is a community service. It's not a paid events. These are community service. I'm sorry if I'm sounding little rude, but I felt giving those kind of unrealistic rating. um I felt little pain when we are doing the community service. I mean, that's all. I just wanted to speak before starting this. So here is the demo script, what we will be going on. And this is demo heavy. Like all my sessions, it will be demo heavy. And the coding is here in this same folder I just created. We'll be discussing this one by one. So let me give these links here in this here in this chart, so that I'll give this, and that one. Okay, I'll give this. I'm sorry. I think I was thinking that I'm sharing my screen. I'm sorry for that. So that's my GitHub, and this is where the speaker series it will be. Okay, so that's the one. So let's start the demo. As I was mentioning, this is the topics which we'll be discussing. We'll see what is new in C Sharp 13, few things, and everything is backed up by a demo. Okay, whatever we are discussing will be backed up by a demo. So I just had a couple of demos. One demo we'll do it live, and rest everything I pre-created it. And few of these new things in .NET libraries, and ASP.NET Core, and the Aspire one I kept it for live session. Okay, so let's see some of the documentation. I have given the links of those documentation so that it will be easy for us to navigate. Now, if you see, when .NET 9 was released in .NET Conf, during the .NET Conf time, there were a lot of changes in runtime, libraries, SDKs, AI building blocks, .NET Aspire, ASP.NET Core, .NET MOI, EF Core, C Sharp 13, F Sharp 9, WPF, Windows Forms. So in these all areas, they did the improvements, or new things were added. There might be some breaking changes, but this is an official document. We need to go and look at it to get the guidance on that one. And what are the demos which I created, which I want to speak today, is the one which is very easy for me to do the demos, to be frank. So that, and something which I liked it. So I picked up those, did a cherry picking of those, and what I can cover in 30 to 40 minutes, I picked up those simple things. So that's the introduction. And if you go and search .NET Conf 2024 YouTube, if you go and search, there'll be a lot of videos. If you see here, you can go to that .NET Conf, and there'll be day one and day two. Even if you go to this day one or day two, and there you will see, if you go to either day one or day two, here in this agenda itself, if you see here, they have clearly given it. Like, some of the things what we will be discussing is like what's new in C Sharp, and what's new in Aspire, and a little bit on the SDK or library side. So we'll see that. So purely from the demo perspective. So everything is documented in this .NET Conf, and you can go to their website and see speakers and everything in day one, day two, or you can go to those individual sessions also. Like, if you go to the go to this .NET Conf website, YouTube channel, and there's a website also. So there you can dig deep into specific topics like this. They have given like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, all the way till 40 minutes kind of thing. Like, some of those things are pretty short. Like, you want to learn something, what's new in Visual Studio, or something related to GitHub Copilot. All the videos are here. Okay, you can go and watch out those videos. And let's come back. What's new in C Sharp 13? So let's go from here itself. Let's see here. You can click on this link, what's new in C Sharp 13. And once you come in here, they have given few of these things like params, lock, and a new escape sequence. And we'll be covering params, this new escape sequence, and what else? There's this one overloading thing. Will cover this one, and field. This is in preview. These are the 4 demos I have planned. So you can click on the link at the bottom. Okay, this it just gives you crisp what is changed. Now you need to go into this link. What's new in C Sharp 13? That's where you will see there are these many things available. Like, okay, so all these things. Now, if you want to learn a little bit deep on this, just click any of these things. Like if you see the field keyword. So here it clearly explains like what is this field keyword. So this is in preview. So it generally doesn't work automatically. Now we need to add a tag inside the CS project. We'll see that what is the tag which we need to add. Okay. So first of the demos which we will be looking at is params collection. So let's come back to this documentation. Just will spend, I mean, everything, the links I have given here. So how to navigate, it will be very easy for you. So you can come to that params collection. I think I started giving the links from here. I forgot to add the params collection, but here you will have this, click on this params collection. So this params collection was previously before .NET 9. It was very specifically used in arrays. Now, from C Sharp 13 onwards, it's being used for any collection type. Now, it can be for the span or read-only span. Those are high in performant, or any enumerable. You can use it. Now you can see that in the code block, the params read-only span. Like span is of high performant type. So instead of arrays, now we can use it for different types of collections. So let's see the sample. I mean, we'll discuss one line about that, and then we'll come back and we'll see the demos. So if you see, all are the C Sharp 30 and .NET 9. And one thing is, this is every time I don't want to write console dot write line, console dot write line. So instead I made it static, using static here. So throughout the project, I can directly write line, or I don't need to prefix with system dot. So it's sorry, console dot. I'm sorry for that. So because we did that as part of the static, we don't need to do it. So anytime, like this is console dot foreground. Now I don't want to do that. I don't need to do that. I can write it even though console dot foreground color, but it is redundant because we don't need to, because we did a static there. We don't need to do that console. Okay. Now coming back to the core, what is that? Now you can see this params collection. We are using integer array because that was it meant for previously. Isn't limited to the array types. So that's one thing. And now you can see this one here is, we are taking the enumerable, enumerable of int. This is another collection type, and list of integers, and read-only span, and our own custom collection also. Like here, if you see this custom collection, this is of enumerable of int. And you can see that we have an internal list. We are maintaining a couple of constructors, and we have an add and get enumerator, and get enumerator here, and a toString, so that we'll know what is that it is. So you can see, let's first see this demo, and I'm just calling this one. Let me block all these things. So first we'll see, we'll execute this one. Now we'll see that it is displaying perfectly. I mean, it's accepting the params input for different collection type. Okay. And one more point I just wanted to give you is in all these places, uh, in the custom collections and here in other places, we could have written similar for loop instead of using the string dot join. I mean, both does the same job. Like if I come in here, so these are numbers. So I can do var number in numbers for each var number in numbers, and I can remove this. Technically, both are doing the same thing. We are adding one space after each of the number in this collection. So we can do write a for loop with write. It's not write line, it comes to the next lane. So we can do a write, or you can use string dot join, give the separator. Now you use this, you give the separator and enumeration, the collection. You give it, it's going to take care. So that's the first demo. Now let's look at the second one. Second one is new escape sequence. So let's come back to this and see. I mean, as I was mentioning, I did the cherry picking and something which I felt, oh, I can demonstrate this or it is easy for me. I just did the cherry picking of that. So, so previously we used to have this escape sequence U001B or these kind of escape sequences. Now, that had a problem like if you have an hexadecimal value after this escape sequence, that might be treated as part of the escape sequence. So now .NET, .NET 9 has introduced a new escape sequence /e. So in place of these Unicode, these escape sequences, -u, -x, okay. So like these things we can use there, okay. So let's come back to the demo here. And I will go back to this and let me comment it. And I'll uncomment this and let's go here inside. So there are a couple of read-only dictionaries I've taken and show demo inside this before .NET 9. So we used to use these escape sequence. You can come here and you can search color output in C#. Okay. So if you do this color output using, let's take this one. Okay. It needs this one. Now, if you see this one, so it gives this use an ANSI escape sequence. This one, like you give this escape sequence 31. So that's the color which we are defining. And again, you use the same escape sequence. So now color 31 represents the red color. Now, and here 32 represents green and 34 represents blue. So like this, we used to depend on these kind of escape sequences prior to .NET 9. So now what we have the flexibility is we can use the /e, the new type of escape sequence. So here, get formatted text, if you see that, here we are giving the style code. So if you see the style code, what is there in the style code is this one. Whether it is bold or underline or reset. There are more, but I just did a very small subset of that. And similarly, if you see from the color perspective, so what is the color code? So color code is like 31, 32, 34, 33, and 36. We can look at the Google or the documentation where we'll find more colors. I mean, somewhere in my document, I kept it because I can't search every time. So I just kept it. While Ritesh is speaking, I'll look at the document because I don't want to waste time looking at that now. So what is very important is this we are showing how we used to do in the previous way and how we do it in the new format now. So we can put a debugger here just to see the formatted text. Now I'll execute this. So if you see that, what is the formatted text you can see here. So you see the /e get formatted text, and okay, we need to see this one like /e and the style code, but this is what we are giving /e and the style code. We are sending the style code text as a parameter. It's coming in here, and the color code and the style code, and we are giving /e. So it is giving this value over here. And if I do an F10, and we can see that it's bold and red. Now let's do another F10. Now you'll see that another color we prefixed, it's on 32. And let me do an F10, and you see that bold and green. I mean, we are traversing the styles bold, underline, and reset. And I will execute it, F5. So we'll see that these, because we had 5 colors and 3 styles, so bold, underline, and reset with those colors. So that's the escape sequence demo, what we have seen now. Now the next thing we'll look at is the field keyword. I really liked it, the field keyword, a lot. I mean, that's my personal choice. Because any someone who has worked back in .NET framework, 1.x, 2.x, and also the .NET Core, we saw how important this field keyword is. So this with this, when we had a backing field back in days, we had a backing field, and on that backing field will be created, and within the accessor, get or set accessor, we used to write if condition or else condition before adding the value. Okay, that is the key thing here. So now how we used to do that is, I'll come back here. Let me comment this, and let's go to field keyword show demo. Now if I come in here, there is a product class here in the field keyword. We have a product class. Now here, what we used to do previously is we used to have, let's create a private string. Let's call it as a name1. Okay, we'll call this, and now what we will do is we'll have this one. We'll have it as a new value. So here, whether in getter or setter, we want to do some validation. Like we want to ensure that whatever the name which was assigned is null or white space, or it's not empty. That's a very simplest thing to do. Or we want to go ahead and do a validation, do it based on the business rules, or go and look at the database. That's a biggest thing, but I'm telling, we need to go and do some validation before assigning the value. So with this, we know that the value is coming from the framework, and this we are assigning to the backing field. So this is how we used to write in good olden days. Now, when you compare that with this, now the field itself is the backing field. You see that k underscore backing field. So instead of we maintaining a backing field, the framework itself now giving something called field. Now that itself is a backing field for name. Now I don't need to maintain another variable for this. So that is taken care of. So now similarly, you see that it's a price, it's a decimal type. Now one advantage, if you see that uh, here, we are showing the variation. Now we have a string type, we have a decimal type, we have a boolean type. I'm taking example. Here we have only two, but hypothetically I'm adding boolean also in this one. So now, when we have to create our own backing field, we need to ensure that we have to. I mean, definitely we will do it. There are a lot of sets of eyes who does the code review, and they are very good at this to picking up the hey, you did wrong data type or something. So it's taken care by our good friends in the team. So here the advantage is we don't need to define any of the backing field. It's like a batteries included kind of thing. It's included in our buffet kind of thing. Okay, the field is coming, and now the framework itself is taking care of defining a backing field of the proper type. Okay, now this is required and this is not. And here we are ensuring that the product price is not less, and the description is the combination of these two. Okay, so we are out of formatting. So let's do the what did I do that? So let me close this because I don't want to do any last moment changes and blow up the demo. So let's come back to this, and let me close this. Let me close this, and let's put a debugger in the product class here, and also, oh, before that itself it is going to blow. I'm sorry for that. So let's put the debugger over here, and we'll click on this. Now you can see that what is the value inside this field. Go to the quick watch. You see this, it doesn't have anything. Now it is the value, it's widget. So you can see that. And here the value has been trimmed. So now if you go and see the field value, okay. Now here I think it will come. Let's keep this debugger there also. And here in 21, now it has assigned to that field. Now it assigned. Now you can see this, the field value. Maybe it's not giving the control to us, but you see when we do an F10 from here, I can see that the name has been perfectly given, as well as the price, as well as the description is the product name and the Indian rupees of 1999. So like this, you can see this when it is spitting out, because this is, I'm assuming this is taken care from by the framework itself. It's not allowing us to do a probe into that. But net we understood that it is very easy, performant, and it is taking care of creating the backing field and using. And luckily, we are using the same name. We don't need to fiddle with different underscore name and underscore price and underscore description or whatever the fields are. Now let's come back to this one, and overload resolution priority. This is another one. Apart from this, there are a lot of things are there. You guys can look into that. I mean, I did some cherry picking over this one. So this is very important. I felt this is very important because when we uh, do look at the compiler rules, it will have its own rules. So that means when we create a overloaded function, and it does its own rules to identify what which method to call. Just give me a minute. I'll have a glass of water. So it does that. Similarly, when we assign a string literal to a variable like int or decimal or double, it will have its own rules. Like this value, this string literal can be assigned to these data types, and it's not assignable to some of the data types. So compiler will have its own rules. So let's see that in action. Let me close these two and come back here, and let me comment this and go back to this and click on show demo, and here we have these numbers, and it is again having the params of integer as well as span of int, two different two different methods, just an overloaded. So now what I do is, for the time being, I will block this. After blocking this, when we come back here and look at this, what does we see? Now, based on the compiler's rules, it thinks when you give integer array, what it is going to call is, it's going to call the perform action of span type. Now, when I come back to that, and if I add this and go back and do a mouse over on that, now, because we have given, okay, even though whatever are your rules, follow my rules. So we're saying that, hey, take this as priority one, take this as priority two. We are giving instructions to the compiler, like take this as a precedence, but follow. We are creating our own rules instead of compiler going and picking its rules. We are saying that, hey, follow my rule. So that's the one is this demo. So it will be definitely useful in our day to day, because it's calling this one. Because if we don't give that, we have seen that it's going to invoke the span method. It never used to call the int. Now we have overridden the behavior. So that was what's new in C# 13. And now let's come back to this. I'll close this. And next one is libraries. Let's see what is there in libraries. I'll close this, so I have to deal with very less number of windows. Okay, so in this libraries also we can see that what's new in this library. There are a lot of things like 18, 20, I assume. Like you see this a wide range of changes. We have something in AI also, and binary formatters, collection, cryptography, time, and diagnostics. Link is one of the thing I really liked it. A couple of changes in link was like we have this count by and aggregated by. This was to quickly get the count, like missing count how many times a alphabet has been repeated or how many times a word has been repeated in a sentence. This is like count by word. It gets the thing. And aggregation also we can do that. So that one is very important. I mean, we were able to do it previously also, but this is giving an extra edge on that. So that's one thing. and like that, there are a lot of these things. I mean, notable thing is this system guide. I just piled up a couple of demos. Let me see that the demos here. Let's come back to this, and first this base URL and GUID 7 and task manage. So let's see that one is in threading, and one is this base 64 URL, and one is the GUID format. Let's see this uh, base 64. Like you see this, the base 64. So previously we used to do the convert or to base 64, or we used to do this encoding and decoding. Like if you see this base 64 table includes plus and this, both of which have their own special meaning in URLs. Like if you have the forward slash, but for URLs, the slash itself has got a special meaning. So how does this base 64 class encodes this, helps us being URL friendly? Let's see that in a minute. Like if you come back to this one, so we have some samples here. We have some the special characters, and here one URL safe, and everything we are doing the conversion over here, and we are seeing it. So one small thing, it's not a big one. Like if you see this, whenever I select that project is becoming the startup project. Instead of we going right mouse clicking and saying that set as startup project, now you can right mouse click on this and click on properties and select this current selection. Okay, generally it will be this, or if you're starting multiple projects, it will be this. But if you select current selection, so whatever the project you select, that will be the startup project. So coming back to this, let's see the first demo. Let me block these two, and let's go and hit the road. Now you can see that so these are the messages. The key thing is here, if you see the slash, forward slash, so that forward slash is being replaced with the underscore. When you see, get into the documentation, they will explicitly specify that it has been replaced. And also you can see this double equal to, it's not here, and here also where it the base 64 string had a single equal to, but we do not have that. But it's taken care, like a safe URL. What is very important is when you want to do a URL friendly, it is working good. That's one thing. Let's see the GUID versions. And let me execute the GUID version, and then I'll go back to the documentation while we are here. Let's come back and click on this GUID. Now you can see that new GUID which creates the string. And one thing is UID version 4, that's the previous one, new GUID. And now we can, in .NET 9, we can create GUID according to version 7. Create of this or datetime offset. Okay, you can also use the new version property. Okay, so we'll see a couple of things. I can see these are coming from version 4 and these are coming from version 7. How do you know? When you come and see this, all are 4. Even if you don't have this, you can clearly tell that these are created using version 4. That's the older way, new GUID. And these are being created using the create version 7. So you can see that over here, version 7. So that's how we can do it. So if you want to check that again, we can go here. Where are we creating these? There's a base 64. The same base 64. This is base 64 URL. Ah, Sorry. Looks like I have less caffeine. I need to have an extra cup of coffee. So you can see this here. Let me put a debugger and another debugger over here. And let's execute this. So you see that's 4 over here. And again, you can see 4 over here. So I think that's good enough for us. And let's come back over here and we see 7, and let's do another 7. So that's how we can differentiate when we see the GUID. Right, this is created using version 7 and version 4, and also you can see we can create using datetime offset. So wherever we are creating this, there are 2 overloads for this one. If you use the second overload, so we can create using the timestamp. So that's the second demo from the library perspective. This one, I really liked it because uh, anyone who worked in the tasks where we did task when it's not task when it's the other one. I'm unable to recall it, but let me try that. Okay, where did we do? Yes, here. Let me go there. Task dot. What is that? When all. I can see that. So when you do a when all, see this creates a task that will complete when all the task objects in an enumerable collection have completed. That means when you have 5 tasks, or let it be 2, when 2 are getting completed, then only it will be completed. Like you see this when all, when everything, like how many tasks you have piled up, all the things should be completed, then only this will be completed. This one is when each, that means as and when it gets completed, you'll get the control. So you can do that. It's like asynchronous. When we do the things like asynchronous, you get the first request, it made a call, and you get a second request, again you made a call. The second request has completed for some reason, maybe didn't have the network logging or something, whatever the reason, there was a temporary blip or something. The second request has come and it gets the output. The first request might come little delayed. So it's very similar to that. I really liked this one because we don't need to wait. Here you see this, it takes few seconds, then at a stretch it gives all. But here if you see that, as and when the tasks are getting completed, it does that. Okay. That's one thing. Now, this is another interesting part in the OpenAPI. Now, previously we used to definitely have, it's not something new, but we definitely used to have the OpenAPI as part of the libraries or it's part of the ASP.NET Core. Let me click on that. So I can see this OpenAPI over here. So if you go to the OpenAPI, now it's been built, it's built in. Now previously we used to depend on third-party tools to create an OpenAPI. Now it is built in. Okay. So what we can, how we can do that is simple. When we come in here and let me go to the NuGet package, and let's go to the installed NuGet package. And here you can see this OpenAPI. We are not using any third-party packages. Now it's the family. It's coming part of the Microsoft packages. Now it gives a lot of documentation. Now, how do you get this is OpenAPI v1.json. We'll see that step by step. That's one thing. And from the description perspective, I'll come back. So first thing is we need to have these two values. Let me come back to the program.cs. So the program.cs is add OpenAPI. You can see that add OpenAPI is here, and you need to map it, map OpenAPI. Okay. So now if I execute this, it will come to the scalar, but don't worry about it. But let's wait. And one thing, if you have observed that in the console, it comes to the scalar, but don't worry about it, because I just added the scalar. I don't want to do that. So let me kill the scalar. Let me kill the scalar. Oh, it might fail. I have given that. Okay, the scalar, it's not there. Okay, directly it comes to this one. Now, what is that? How do you know that the OpenAPI has been created? That's the endpoint, OpenAPI / v1. If you navigate to this, you can go and look at the OpenAPI specification here. That's point one. And point two is, suppose if you want, for some reason, you want the JSON to be created. I'll just go ahead and kill this right now. I'm killing this. So we don't have that file right now with us. You can see we just deleted that. Now, what we need to do is we need to add this one, API descriptor server, and then add this. OpenAPI documentation directory is build project directory. That means where the CS project is there, at the same level, it creates a JSON file with the same project name. So let's see, this is the step 2. Ritesh, I'll be done in 2 minutes. I'll just finish this demo and hand you. So if we have executed this and now come back and let me do this. Need to build it because that comes as part of the build. Now, once you build that one, you see this here, and also here also you can see this in the, once you build it, it comes once you're building it. So you're saying that generate this at that build. Once you build it, what happens is, apart from the build, you can specifically see this over here, that it has created the product, the project.json, which will have the spec. That's point 2. And I'll do this. Point 3, what I wanted to do is, if I want the Swagger, so I'll uncomment this. OpenAPI, now it is built in. Now we need a UI to test it. So we are adding this package for the UI, and I can go and I'll uncomment this. And now if I come in, now understand the OpenAPI package is part of Microsoft. It's built in. So we are not using third-party packages, but anytime you want, you can go and validate, or you can ensure that we have the OpenAPI built in. Now we can use this for curl or for Postman or any number of things. And we have a capability to generate the JSON. We have seen that. To add a new package, and once you build it, it will generate automatically. You can use a .NET build, plain .NET build command, it builds it. Now, when we added the Swagger UI, I can go to Swagger. Now, because it knows that the definition is already there. So based on that, the Swagger UI, it creates this. Now we can go and try this out and click on execute. You will see a beautiful thing here. So now I'll come back here. Now this time I'll add this. And on top of that, you need to map an endpoint when you're using Scalar. So that means directly, you don't need to do it, but when you're adding it, it makes sense for them to go and see. This is a new UI. I really liked it to the core. The Scalar UI, it's it has got more features. For some reason, I liked it. That's my personal choice. I'm not. Uh, I don't want to influence anyone, but you can see that this is another type of UI similar to Swagger. You have models over here, you have methods over here. Now you have curl shell and you have Python or your Node.js. Now try with the Node.js, or I never tried it, but I'm just letting you know that. You click on this and you can say that test the request and send the request. You see this over here. Now you got, including, we have a capability to download this. Okay. So let me come back to this. So that is what I have prepared the demo for. You can see that we spoke about features, new features we have seen, and what's new in library. We have seen that uh, Taskal and OpenAPI. We spoke about specification. How can we see this specification? You can get this directly using the products HTTP. I've given that file also here. You guys can go and play with it. You can click on this send request, and you will see uh, you'll get the output here. Okay, for some reason it's taking time, but you see the same one what we have seen after going to the navigation, I mean the route. And we saw how to generate, and we saw the OpenAPI is now part of the framework, and how can we marry that with the Swagger UI, and how to marry OpenAPI with Scalar. So that's it from my side. If you have any queries, please feel free to reach us, and we'll be more than happy to answer. Please subscribe to our Meetup and YouTube channel. Already 5 minutes delayed. Ritesh, could you please share your screen?
Yeah, I'm doing it. It's an amazing session, rolling.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so I have to explore more because I just came through all these new features, so I need to start.
Oh yeah, I mean, I always explore. By the way, I have to give credit to a couple of people for these demos. One is Jill, author of one of the author in plural site, and Alex Wolf is another author. So I watched those, and also the .NET Conf uh, videos. So
Yeah,
all the authors who presented, the credit goes to them.
yeah, that's great. Yeah,
Yeah. So I pull myself off. I'll be in the backstage.
yeah.
Stage is all yours, Ritesh. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Hello everyone. So today, as I said, so people who missed my introduction, so I'm going to talk about building AI application from scratch. So that's what I'm going to do. So how easy we can connect with OpenAI or Llama or anything. So that's the intention that I wanted to show you today. So just a small glance about myself. So I'm Mr. Ritish, or you can call me Venkat also. So I have 7+ years of experience in full stack and data and AI side as well. Right now, I'm currently working as AI into, because you know how AI is evolving, right? So that's the part of it. So I also have a community called Microsoft AI Innovators Hub. So because that's a part of Microsoft community, official community. So you can actually come and check. So you can also connect with me on LinkedIn. So my LinkedIn profile is Venkat Jogi. So you can actually connect on my LinkedIn as well. So let's not waste our time. So let's start with starting from scratch. So what exactly I'm going to tell you today is let's see the demo first, and then let's move into what exactly I'm going to tell you uh, and all that. So this is a demo where we basically have a support system, right? So customer support we call it as. So there is an estimate, like example, let's consider there is a e-commerce application or any third party application where it sells some products. So they are building, trying to build some traditional, this demo we wanted to show a traditional chatbot, so how that react used to react. So let me run this code, and let's let you, because these are the snippets, so I'll be going into the demo and showing you the code as well. So let's see these screenshots and see how it performs. So basically, it gives you a flow kind of an approach where it gives you certain options, like example which you're seeing in screen. So you have multiple options. So for example, let me select one option, that is, if I wanted to know anything about, inquire about anything about filter cat rates. So it gives me an answer. This is not an OpenAI based answer. This is just a predefined answer that I have already stored in our code. So this is a traditional chatbots that are built. So let me talk more about chatbots, LLMs, and all that. So let me go in a traditional way, and then I wanted to show you how OpenAI is really converting this into a very conversational way. So if you see here, there is a lot of data that is coming from backend. So this is a traditional way, I said, right? So, and again, there is another approach where I wanted to know about GPS issue, which is there for any camera. So it's also giving some inputs, but we have to go to all these problems. But rather, there is simple way called LLMs, implementing LLMs into our chatbot. So that helps you get the information accurately, just a piece of information, I can say. Because if you see the previous slide, there are multiple solutions it's giving, right? So there are four different solutions that it's giving. So but when it comes to a specific problem, like if I say still not working or something like that, so it should give me a particular problem which is there. So that there, the conversational thing happens using this large language models. So everyone are hearing about large language models, large language LLMs, right? So I just wanted to cover what exactly this LLM, large language model, all it is. Firstly, these are few use cases where LLMs play a major important role. So firstly, there is an assistant. We showed it. I'm going to show a live demo now using OpenAI and also Llama. And then we have a different use case. Yeah. So let me talk a bit about chatbots. So as I'm saying, right, so there's a rule based. Rule based is nothing but a traditional way where I already feeded my data to to the chatbot, saying like, if user is asking this question, so just give me the answer. It's not like conversational kind of. So, or it's not taking data from any sources, refining it and giving it. So there the picture comes it, and AI comes in, and it's called as AI powered. We can call it as also the conversational bot as well. So that's the beauty of it. So then the second example, summarizing, because there is a lot of stuff which I showed you before. There's a lot of content which is on the screen. So everyone may not be able to understand, because see, as Ritish can understand certain level of having certain level of technical knowledge, and X person will have certain level of technical knowledge. So it doesn't mean like everyone understand everything, right? So when you have a summarization on top of anything, so that will be easy. Let's see how it really works. And there are few others, so we can evaluate the data instead of giving just like that. So based on your code or prompt, so but giving evaluate, just evaluating something and giving, because that gives you an user experience, right? So that's one way. And second thing is semantic search. It's not just like putting everything onto the screen. what exactly the user is asking, searching out of it, and then putting the accurate data. Even there are some spelling mistakes and all, so that comes in the classification. So there are any spelling mistakes, or there is a context errors, so that will be automatically corrected in the classification. And third one is, yeah, obviously to build an LLM kind of an application, LLM by your own, you need data, right? So obviously data generation is very important. And then the localization. The beauty of this LLM is, so you can interact with any way, like any language. For example, I wanted to have an answers in Hindi, I can interact in Hindi. I can, if I wanted to do it in Telugu, I can do it in Telugu, or English, I can do it in English. So it's localized, so we can play with it in any language. And sentiment analysis. So the word sentiment analysis is when data science came in. So everyone are very keen about sentiment analysis, but now there are a lot to learn. Yeah. So let me go to the next slide. So now, so you can ask me like, how Ritish, how are you pulling all this data? Because how can I use this OpenAI or Llama or anything? Is we have Microsoft introduced an extension .ai to put all these blocks, whatever I said. So kind of implementing this OpenAI LLMs, evaluation, streamings, and all that information, SDK, AI, particularly to say AI SDKs. So all that are ready. So Microsoft is providing an extension .ai where it acts as a middleware to generate all your AI responses. Yeah. So as I said, like how, because this is a snippet where you can see how we are using this open AI and pulling the data. So this is a package. So where we were importing that and just using it by just defining the model and the endpoint URL. But you can ask me how to use Llama, because Microsoft is OpenAI collaborated. But you can ask me, Llama is not, right? So how can I? No, everything is integrated, so we can use any model that you wanted to, but with a slight change like this. So using uh, here, like this package, instead of using this package, we have to use a different package. Just 3 lines of code. That's it. So you can access any model in your code. Yeah. So and one more question. So how can I, or this LLM, because LLM is already with lot of data, right? So how should this LLM understand so what user is expecting? There comes the picture called prompt. So I can say prompt is very crucial and important aspect of LLMs, where each of these responses which I've been getting, so we can actually, by giving the prompt, we can actually change that prompt, the way it responds, the way, like for example, if the LLM want to respond it in a very positive, happy mood, so that you can actually give that. So and you can actually give instructions that, because LLMs is all about generating tokens, right? So you don't want to waste your tokens, or waste your money, I can say, because obviously you have to buy tokens with money only, right? So so to reduce your tokens and reduce your money, so you can actually give those kind sort of instructions as a given here. So this should respond in only 30 words, not more than that, because LLM can also give it in 300 words also. But again, it matters of your uh, money and your tickets, right? So so we don't want it to waste it. So if you don't want it to waste it, so you can actually give those sort of instructions also here. So for example, the example which I showed you before, I'm going back to that. So here I'm just saying to my LLM that you are customer support agent. So where you need to give all the queries which are asked by the users and just respond out of that. So and I'm giving certain instructions like that, and also I'm saying my bot to give just 30 words, not more than that. Let's see how the bot really responds to that. See. Yeah, and how before going to that, so how are we passing this to the llm is, so there is a input where we are passing all these messages, uh, like I mean the prompt in the message format to the our open AI, and then we were actually getting the response from our chat client. So that's what we are looking at. And as I said, like we have a traditional approach. So this is the function that we wrote it for our new AI summarizer bot. So if you run this, so if you see, I'm going to again select the same filter cat rate, and I'm just printing the output. So if you see here, there is one add-on came here, like summary, right? So the summary itself says all the like information about it. So I hope you can read this. So so instead of reading this, so you can actually get a summary of what does this issue is all about in small three-liner statement. Okay, so this is the beauty of the summarization in LLM. So and now there is one more critical thing. So let me take one more example also, which I showed you before. So this is the summary for GPS. So it's just a two-liner word, two-liner of the whole scenario. So this is the beauty of the summarizer thing, because there are a lot of examples. There is email summarizer which came in, and Copilot's really doing good in Outlook and all that. So you can actually explore that to get your summarizers. I if you want more use cases or more examples, I'll show you my GitHub user ID. There are few uh, I mean, code snippets. You can actually use it and play across multiple code. I mean, multiple use cases where you can actually explore and make use of it. And I'm giving OpenAI credit also to you, so you can actually use it for free, but it has limitations. So you can actually use it for only few tokens. You can actually use it for free, and then you can explore your own API keys also. Yeah, let me do the next one. So before I'm going to the next one, so let's say there is a use case. So this is only giving the summary on top of the data which I'm giving, right? So you can ask me, Ritesh, can't it give you a dynamic data? For example, I have a document, PDF document, which states it says about the whole scenario, this all the frequently asked questions or information about the product and all that in 100 pages of PDF document. So can't my chat GPT or my bot can answer that based on that? I mean, or else if you take another example, let's say Amazon as an example. So lot of tickets will be generated, right? So that will be stored in some database, or any sorts of data that they store it. So to make user experience more better, so can't we use the data to make it more refining and make user experience better? Yes, we can do that. So how there is a process called RAG. So this is retrieval augmented generation, where this play this extracts all the data which is there in any of your databases, like it could be your PDF file, SQL, Cosmos, anything. So it just you just need to just implement this RAG process. There are few other Azure search sorry, Azure AI search, and there are other implementation vector search kind of things. So you can actually implement those also in this to get more, because every day more models are getting generated, more technology is coming in, so you need to explore and fit which use case is better for your scenario. Let's see how this drag process works, right? So I told you there is a PDF document. First it converts a whole scenario to your text document, because to generate anything, any response to any mission understandable language, so that should be in a text format. So even if you give a tabular data, so that even converts into the text, and then it embeds into the vector format here in this scenario. So you can even do it with ASH or any other technologies that you wanted to implement, so that you can also implement based on your use case. So in embedding, what it does is like it converts everything into binary. zeros and ones, where you can ask me if I give all my data, will my data get corrupted, or will my data will be used by other people? No, because every data that you are sending to through to your vector format or any machine learning format, so machine understandable format, sorry, so that will be converted into zeros and ones basically. So then that will be understandable by LLM. So here in the scenarios, like once it is embedded, the whole data into zeros and ones, like Mr. Understandable language, and then it stores into the vector DB. And we can actually use multiple different scenarios also based on your use case again. And then whenever we are hitting the LLM, so it takes the data from vector DB, so which is very fast in communicating, and it easily get the data from your to your user. So that's where we follow this. So how you are going to embed that? Okay, so here there is a vector storage that you have kept the memory that you have put, and then this is the format again. Sorry for this. So these are the processes. So first what we are doing, so first step is we were converting the PDF to a string, basically the text format. So then the second step is we were actually putting the whole paragraph data, that is the text data, into chunking. So chunking is basically we were converting everything into pieces of data. Instead, for example, if I'm asking about the introduction of the any product, so that was in my first para. Okay, so in the PDF, so instead of going and searching into every block of information, so we call block as chunk here. So it directly goes to the chunk and get the data. So that's the beauty of this chunk scenario. So that's about it. And then we'll put everything in chunk every data into the this, and then we will embed the whole scenario. I mean, as I said, like we will be putting everything into, we will embed, like convert everything into zeros and ones. It's a machine learning, sorry, machine understandable language. So this is the process. So how we were doing, and how we, after chunking also, the when a response is getting generated, so it should understand which chunk it is having the data, right? So there we will be doing some sort of indexing for that, and then we'll put that into the R vector DB. Okay, so basically this is the overview how the chunking data like looks like for you, but nowhere we will be saving that into the same data into any sort of database, because it's more secure, right? Every data is secured, so it should be secured. So that's the reason. So this is how it looks like, and everything has its own value in zeros and ones. Okay, so now let's see, after implementing this sentiment analysis, don't worry, this whole code I will be putting it in, I already put it in my repository, so you can play across, because I have my limitations to my Azure account, so I couldn't show this demo live, but I will show you the other demo live. Okay, so let's see how this is going on. So now I'm going to ask again, because I'm taking the same example to make you more easy to you to understand in a better way how each step is going on. So let's see now. So I have ran that scenario. It gave me a summary on the top, and then if you see on the bottom, so it is asking again for a question like you need to chart more. Okay, so it was not previously there, so now it is asking for a chart more. So I'm asking, tell more about the filter, and then it reacts and it gives you the whole scenario what it is there in the PDF. It extracts all the data about this filter, and then it gives you the response. So it is asking if you want more data also, you can actually ask and interact with this bot. So these are the few use cases, I mean, uh, few examples that where you can actually see all this. And this is again, you can actually, if there is no limitation that you need to ask only one question, so you can actually ask multiple questions also on top of this. Yeah, so you now the biggest hurdle, if everyone will get into their mind, is, see, everything I need to do, I need to really show this code on the command line, Don't I have a UI, better UI to show all this? Yes, we have that. Let's demo this. So this is the platform that we built to put all our chatbots onto the single platform. Where let me give my password to this. I gave something else got pressed. Yeah. So once you log in, so this is the bot. These are all the bots that we built in. So let's take a healthcare bot. Let's move into the healthcare domain now. So yeah, this is the bot where you can actually play across. So this is a framework that we built in, and this is the key. This is only half visible, so you cannot use it. And what source? Because I'm right now using OpenAI. What models that you can actually you wanted to use that models you can, and what is the maximum token size? So you can actually use it 10,000, 1 lakh, 1,050, like that, whatever you want based on your need. And you can actually save this whole chart into your system so that you can come and play across if whenever you need it. So let me not only show you the demo, let me show you the code how we were doing it. So so sorry I couldn't show it on .NET, but right now I'm showing it on JavaScript. So here if you see, I'm just telling my bot, let me open this bot one. Yeah, so this is the one. So I'm, if I go line by line, so this is one, the model what is there defaultly. So otherwise we can actually use the different model. And this is the prompt. This is very important. If you see, so this is the data set that I'm giving here for now to just get the data. Or else there is one more thing where it connects with my Cosmos DB and get all the data. So let me show you that. So it is basically here it is. So it is basically hitting endpoint URL. So this endpoint URL will get connected to my this file, and then here it is. So I'm connecting it with one lake Microsoft Fabric, and then pulling all my patient data and putting it in my JSON. So this is other way. So there's, and even there's one more way. So we can actually extract the data from XML file also. This file. So this file is having all the data of the patients and all that. So let me walk you through. So what I said is in the prompts. So you will be providing patient information, claim details, and also it should be in a short conversational way. And also at the last I have given something called this should be the format. So basically this should be the format, it should be there. And you can ask me, I will show you an example, but you can ask me what else if I ask only to show a claim ID instead of everything. That will also be restricted, but this is the first message it generates. So this is the instruction I gave. And then what else I told you should be very friendly, because I don't need rude answers, right? So it should be friendly, accurate, and all that. So this is how it is. So let me show you how this message is getting generated. So here the messages, so and the content itself is like whatever coming from the JSON response from the output, so that comes here. And message is something like what we are sending to the OpenAI. So this is the OpenAI endpoint URL. So where I'm pulling all the data, I mean hitting the data to get generated with the output and all that. So you can ask me like rack process, right? So that process here I can show you. So I'm just passing the parameter here, not here, sorry, my prompt. Yes, so if you see here the response, I'm just sending it here so that it will take that response and generate. So this is basically the vector data I'm sending, which is stringified, and it is in the JSON file, JSON format. Okay. And so if I run this, so if you see here, if it is running locally, so if I ask about anything, like let's say, because I just gave something in intro about the bot here, but even though I just say hi, let's see how my bot will it say something. Okay, let me change this to 100 only. Okay, let me read out this. Fresh. Okay, it is all done. Let me say hi. Don't worry if this is not working. I have an alternate way as well. So, but this is working. Yeah. So it is saying like, how can I assess you? So tell me any patient details or something like that, right? So I will be giving one thing. I will giving my name itself. So instead of because I know my name is already there in the database. So it is giving me all the details like patient ID, department, because I have already defined it. Like this is what you have to respond. This is the way how you have to respond. So, but I have not told with the bot, give it if he's asking for any only department name or the okay, let's see. Yeah. So it is saying it is giving claim amount as well as it's giving me the ID. So let me ask what department, what treatment, because let me very specifically ask Ritesh took. So if you see here, it's a single line answer it gave because so it understands. So based on this is a conversation, right? So basically this understands all the scenario, and this is all about my demo which I'm going to show you today. So if you want more, as I said, you can actually go here. So it is Venkat Jogi is my user ID, so you can actually access all my data here. Yeah. So and you can actually connect with me. I'm always available, so you can actually connect and we can talk more if you need any sort of information. Yeah. Thank you so much, Swami, for this opportunity. And yeah, over to you, Swami. You're on mute.
I was on mute. I'm sorry for that. Thanks, Venkat, for this wonderful session. And guys, thanks so much for joining. Please subscribe to .NET Learners House Hyderabad Meetup Group and Global AI Hyderabad Meetup Group. Uh, we are the organizers for both these meetup groups and our YouTube channel, where we are trying our level best to do one or two events every month. And have a good rest of the day and good weekend too.
Thank you.